Hello and welcome back to another episode of Dump Run. This is the animated short film that I'm putting together in Blender. If you haven't watched this series, episode I'm going through and making a little more progress on this short film, doing everything live so you can see all my decisions, all my mistakes, everything raw and real in little tiny 30-minute chunks. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. Thanks for watching. We're trying to do a bit of a blitz, doing a loose 30-day challenge, trying to do an episode a day for 30 days, which I've already messed up, but that's okay because I'm still making them. We're still having fun. We're still doing stuff. So last time we had the disaster of dynamics not quite working right. Everything kind of fell apart. Just the whole plan of like hand animating these things started to really, I don't know. Finally, though, I think we got a good solution. If we rewatch, we've got the fall and smash into here and it all looks good. I think it looks quite nice. Now, I'm going to need to do it again when he gets picked up here. And I like the idea of doing a fall off, right, with the GeoNodes object so that, you know, it's not the entire mountain moving. It's just localized to this little area right here, which I think would look really nice. I think that'd be really good. I think that's a good idea. And I'm kind of tempted to do it, but I don't know if it's necessary because once we get this thing lit, we turn on rendering. Let's just have a quick look. We haven't lit it yet. So, but I'm kind of aware things might fall off a little bit, or with depth of field, we may not notice it as much. I'm just not sure it's worth the time investment because this is literally the only point in the film where this is going to be needed. So let's just have a quick look as this renders. Do I have everything turned on? Yeah, scene one, scene one. Oh, it's still going. Let that finish. Chewing through. There it is. Okay, so I mean, yeah, it's not. We do see a little bit. We do see some. I think we might see it. Like we're going to see here and stuff. This is going to look so cool. Look at this. Looks great. Look at these like rays of light and stuff that we've got. We haven't done any lighting yet. We've got all this. It's a bit intense. Oh. I usually like working in this mode, like having it rendered and actually work. But this particular scene, because of all the GeoNodes objects and all the rubbish, it's just too heavy. Just too heavy to get a good playback. So that's why I'm keeping that off. All right, let's do it. We're going to go fall off. We're going to do fall off. I'm going to select my GeoNodes object. I'm going to move my view up, move that down, and let's figure this out. So I've got some good animation already in this. I'm happy with the way it looks. So I don't really want to change that. So I'm going to do something that's going to like factor this in. Let's move this over here. Just kind of get things spread out so we can think about it clearly. Okay, what I want to do is I want to affect this pipe. And I want this basically to be 0. I want to be adding nothing at all for most of the pile. But as we get close to a certain point, that's when I want to start having these values sort of scaling up and ramping into being used. Okay. So first off, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to get it out of here. And I am going to, I know we need to use a multiply. So I'm going to go, let's get a vector math node and we'll set this to multiply. Actually, we could just use no, we need a vector math because I want to keep the 3 inputs, the 3 values for a vector. Okay. So we're going to keep this at 0. And what I'm going to do is take, what do I want to take? Let me think about this because okay, I'll pipe it into this. So this is going to, you know, have these numbers here. And it's going to go through here and multiplying by 0 makes these 0. And then we're going to add it in. That's how we need to do it. Okay, so then I'm going to get another vector math node. And I'll drop this one into the pipe, keep it at add, and we'll set the vector here. We'll input that vector here. So what's happening now? What's different? If I scale through, I scrub through, if I select this, you'll see the keyframes here down at the bottom. Pretty sure you can see that. Yes, you can. Good. If I scale through, you can see the whole pile, nothing happens during these keyframes, right? But if I set this to 1, so now we're multiplying these values by 1 and then adding them in, you can see that we get the same effect that we had before, right? So everything is moving, shifting around. So now we need to create like a little like a fall off that affects when this is 1 and when this is 0. Okay, you following? So We can use an object for this, a specific object that will set the position. So I'm going to find the exact position that we need, which is going to be right around here. I'll just go ahead and select our little man. Let's shift, I guess we could be a girl too, shift this individual. We're going to shift S, cursor to selected. There we go. And that's about the right spot. I'm going to go shift A, empty, and I will create a empty. And I'm going to call this empty, let's see, geo, let's see, pile fall off. That should be good. That's clear. I think that's clear. And I'll put this in, where should I put this? We got all of our rubbish pile stuff in here. So I'll put it with this. Cool. Oh, I can't because it's a linked collection. That's all right. I'll put it in props just so I can find it. Okay. Now, select this rubbish pile again. There we go. And let's get this object. So we could actually just drag it in. Pile fall off. Comes in as an object info node. And it's set here to pile fall off. And let's see. All right. So now we can let's take the location of this object. And relative or original, probably original. And then we're going to use that to determine this. So I want to get a distance. How are we going to do this? All right, we need like the world space. That's probably what we need to use. So let's think. Could I use distance of the points themselves? That's probably a good way to do it. Is that the way to do it? I could also use the UV space of the object. Yeah, I'm going to get a location. We're going to try for this. Location. Location. Position. That's what I want. All right, so this position node, right, this is going to get the position of, well, whatever we tell it to. Depending on where we pipe it into things, because we're going into an instance on points node, it's going to get the position of each point. That's kind of what this node's cycling through. So sort of whatever we hook up to this or in this pipe, whatever feeds directly into this is going to be dealing with the points. And the points are, where each of these bits of rubbish are being positioned. So this is basically the position of every piece of rubbish. So I want to get the distance between these two. So let's go for a vector math. Vector math has a distance option. Come down here, distance. And let's just see if this works. So I'll plug this in here, So we've got the location of this pile fall off, and then the distance from each of these. So the greater the distance, the number is going to get bigger, bigger, bigger. So when this number is really small, that's when we want it to be 1, right? So at 0, it should be 1. And as it gets bigger, it should invert. It should go closer and closer to 0. So what we should do, we could probably use a map range node. Let's try that. Map range. And we'll plug this value in. And so we want to say the maximum. So from max 0 to 1. So it's 0 1 scale at the moment. We want to flip that around. So we want to say from 1 to 0. So that's kind of inverted, right? So now when we are really, really small, so when we hit 0, so when the minimum is 0, or when the value is 0, right, it's going to be changed to 1. And then when the value is 1, it's going to be changed to 0. And we can clamp it so that it never goes into the negatives, right? Okay, so let's try this. Let's see if this works. I just don't know if this works. I think it'll work. So if we plug, so see, it's gray. I've talked about this a lot, but if you haven't seen a video where I've talked about it, you may not be familiar. But the little gray output, that just means that it's a floating point number. So it's a single string of digits, right? Whereas the purple is a vector. So it's one of these. It's a set of 3 numbers. But that's all right, because we're using the same number in each of these inputs. We can actually just input one of these, and what it'll do is take whatever this number is, and it'll just repeat it 3 times. So I'll plug this in, okay, and let's see what happens. Nothing. It's all right. Okay, so it might be because the position isn't doing things correctly, but let's have a look. We can actually dive into the spreadsheet. Where are you, spreadsheet? Okay, so let's see. I want to look at a specific value, so I'm going to get a viewer node. This is where I should update. The latest version of Blender, you've got this little thing that actually tells you in front of on top of all these. I haven't upgraded yet because I'm just like, I'm in this scene, it's working in this version. I just don't want to break anything. I'm like, I'll just keep it here. And then it's also because my screencast keys I haven't updated, and I love screencast keys. Anyways, so viewer, need to put the geometry input into this, I think. And then let's have a look at the value here and just see. We can go switch this to evaluated to the viewer node. And we'll go to the points. And what do we have? I guess viewer gives us the actual value. So it does seem to be working, but it's not clamped. Like, these values are huge. I wonder if that means it's working somewhere. You know? Like, let me plug this in, see what it looks like. All right, now they're all 0, which, you know, makes sense. Is there any that go above 0? Okay, that's why it's not working. There's nothing. Okay. Let me try taking this up a bit. Okay, yeah, there you go. Now we're getting some values. But it's still not working. Okay. They're all moving. We are getting different values, which is good. Wish I could visualize this. Some are 0. All right, I'm going to pin this, and I'm going to pin, can I pin this? Oh, no, I need to pin that. Okay. This, by pinning this, basically what it means is if I click something else, I won't lose this. This will stay visible. So I'm going to grab this and move it around. You can see that it is doing something with those values. All right, let's just zoom out and let's see. We have a spot. All right, so these things that are really far away seem to be moving. Like, look, we go to the back. Yep, yeah, there you go. So it's all this stuff. So it is working in theory, but it's just inverted. It's just wrong. So what we've done is, let me think about this. These things would have a higher value. So let's say 50 points away from this. And what we've done is we've said, all right, flip it around. I guess, I don't know why this hasn't worked. I unclamp it. Is that? It's just going to invert everything. It's not really. Let's try using a color ramp. So let's go for a color ramp. Pop this down, take this value and plug that in, and then plug this in so we can keep looking at the viewer node, and let's flip these. What happens now? Nothing happens. Okay. All right, let's work through what we've got working and what we don't have working. So I wonder if it's the relative or original. I wonder if that makes a difference. It does not appear to. Let's go back to the map range because I had a feeling that would work. So from 0 to from max to minimum to max, inverting it. Again, I will turn this up just so I can see the effect. It's too much. That's everywhere now. Let's go back to 1. Maybe I just missed the position of it. All right, relative doesn't. It's got to be original. Now I'm seeing it everywhere again. Oh, it's because we haven't plugged it in. Oh, man. Sorry, everybody at home. So embarrassing. All right. Back to this. Let's go back up to 20. All right. I don't know why that's not working. Don't know why we would have the furthest things away. I mean, if I just, maybe I just need to do that. Surely not. No, it's doing to all of it. Okay, something's not quite right. There should be a variance in this. What's the value of this by itself? Let's just have a look. What does it actually say? So it is doing this correctly. Looks like we're getting up to like 20, 30. It's as high as it goes. And these are the smallest values that I've seen. I know this is working. I know this is the right way to do it. Let me try. Let's try color ramp again. Just see. Color ramp really clamps things, so. But I mean, it's exactly the same. This is kind of silly because it's really no different than using map range node. It's funny because I don't see anything getting cut off. Literally like no zeros anywhere. It's all ones. And if I flip it, it's just going to be all zeros. So what does that mean? That means that this is coming in. Everything's either over 1. Yeah, it's all over 1. So it's just all going to be white. Whereas if I flip it, it's all going to be black. The range is too big. Whereas, like, if we drop this in, and we say, like, increase this up to 50, it's going to start just decreasing everything, right? Well, there we go. It's starting to do something. All right. Now, okay, so it's all happening along here. All right, this says to me, let's try and get to a frame where it's really moving. What happens if we pull this up? Can you see that? It's like, I don't know if you can see this with YouTube compression, but it's like sliding up the side. It's not. I don't feel like it's not calculating the position or the distance to this thing in the right way by the look of it. It looks like it's like calculating the same value for the whole strip. Switch this to relative. What does it look like? Ah, there it is. I can see the circular pattern going there. Okay. We just got it. Oh, but definitely something's happening there. There we go. Can you see that over here? So that these guys are moving and nothing else is. All right, I figured it out. So let's so the first thing I had wrong was relative. I should have hit tick to relative. It needed to be, I mean, it's obvious now that I'm thinking about it. It should have been relative to that object as opposed to the original position of it. And then changing the scale here. So these are just, I mean, these are just refinements now to like get the fall off to feel different. It was mainly this was the problem. So, well, that's how you troubleshoot geometry nodes. Get rid of that. I don't need the spreadsheet anymore. I can unpin this. And so is that fall off big enough? What do we think? I think so. All right, so then this thing comes in. All right, so let's fix that camera up. And then we'll use this same little tweak one more time here. So I'm going to go Shift B to select my camera because I've set that as my hotkey for selecting the camera. Watch previous episodes to see me do that. Let's go up that, our dope sheet. And so the camera has gotten a little messed up because we got this angle. We didn't want that angle. We wanted to, unless, did we have a different shot here or something? I feel like something's changed. Wasn't it like this, right? I think that's all it was. We can double check that. But let's get, we know we got to get him fixed regardless. So let's go back to our little dude. And let's see, do we ever have a pose that's quite right? I mean, we can just reset everything. I think that's all we need to do. What is it that goes up? I think it's his armature that gets animated up again. Hate that I did that. Whatever. Said location. Yep. All right. So what we can do is let's first we'll come here because we like his animation when he falls in. So I want to lock that off. So I'm going to hit I and W. That will create a keyframe for every bone. So you see that again. I and W is whole character. So we just set a key for the whole character. Next frame. And now what we can do is we can hit A to select all his controllers and then F3 and clear pose. And we're going to go clear pose all. And that will get him straight up again. And then we have auto key turned off, I can see. So just got to be a bit careful about that. I'm going to turn auto key back on. Bring that down. And then what we can do is hit I, W again. So we've got a key now. So he's going to come up and then get picked up. Yeah, that lines up a lot better. Okay, so we're going to need to probably animate some stuff around him because he's intersecting a lot of geo. So probably need to bring him forward. And actually, we could just cheat the mountain back for this shot. That's a much easier idea. So let's take the mountain and we'll go back to here. And I location rotation, come here. And then when he comes up, let's use this as the moment. So I'll go grab X. And I'm just going to go back until he's not really intersecting any of that stuff. So we need a little bit further. I'm holding down Shift to make the movement smaller. Still a little bit of intersection from the claw. Okay, that's pretty clean, it looks like. Now we got this bit as well here. So grab X, and just shift, go back a little bit. I'm going to grab that one and delete them, and grab this and bring it right there. We need to go a little bit further so we can dodge that claw. Grab this and just drag it on top of this keyframe to replace it. There we go. That's pretty clean. There we go. Now what we can do is put it back. So I'm coming here. And all channels, that's fine. We'll come here and we're going to duplicate this key back. So put it back to where it belongs. So Shift D and just drag that over. There we go. So now with this nice little clean positional change for the hill. Although it does intersect us a lot here. So maybe we don't want to do that just yet. Let's grab these two and we'll just do it there instead. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Cool. All right. Now, just about done for this episode. It's got a few minutes left, but let's use our new tool that we just developed to do this bit here. So probably going to want to animate the fall off and change it a little bit. I've also got some gaps I can see. We'll be able to see through, so I need to add some specific pieces of rubbish in there. So let's grab the ones that we've already animated. Let's see if I can see them from this angle. Here we go. There's one. So we'll go here again. Come to the last frame of this shot. Location rotation. And let's go to the first frame of this shot, and let's just reuse this piece. We'll just move it. Now this will cause a motion blur artifact. We can fix that. Something like this. Kind of want to hide the fact that he's intersecting right there. So I'm just going to bring this over. Is that? Don't want it to be too in the way there. Pop. There we go. He pops up. Nope. Good. And so what we could do is, when he pops up, we're gonna have a little shift in the ground here. So let's grab our geo nodes. So don't want that. Do it from here. One more time. And okay, so what I should do, I want to change the size of that fall off. We could do it with this, I think. I might just do it with this. So I'll go back to the first one and I'll set a keyframe for the position of this pip, which is the 1 pip, not the 0 pip. I'll come to here and I might bring it down. And what we can do is when he pops up, right about here, we can set a key and up, and just move these guys a touch. It might take, let's see, set a key here and drag that one out and drag this one back. And then what we can do is also we can change the position of the little mover thing. What is it called? Pipe fall off. That's it. So let's go to here and location rotation, next frame, and with this one, we'll just move it down so it's kind of closer to where our camera is. Which camera is it? Oh, this one here. So I'll just grab this down. Actually, that's kind of a cool effect. That actually looks like he's moving. Let's use this instead. This is cool. All right. So it'll be here. Like that. And then what we'll also do is we'll grab this and we'll turn off the keys that we set for this node. So delete those, delete those, delete those. So it's just the movement. Yeah, nice. And then as he gets picked up, right here, let's grab one more time. This guy, eye, location, rotation. It's a little bit of a shift like that. Very cool. Wonder if it should be like up and then down. So like this, eye, location, rotation, and then come to this and like go back down. How does that look? No, that doesn't really look any better. Like, it's to be done a bit quicker. Maybe just by the timing a bit. And it doesn't work actually. Right here kind of needs to stop. So let's stop there. Location, rotation. Bam. And we'll duplicate this. Go. It's a subtle effect. We just want to have like a little bit of life. Awesome. All right, cool. Killing it. Good job. So what we're going to do next is we will animate him, give a little reaction to this moment, get that pickup going. We left a lot of this opening section empty, when it came to animation detail. So, it was going to take us time no matter what. So this is going to be, kind of a top heavy, I think, getting this polished. And then once we're through the woods with this, then it's going to be about animating, a little bit of character animation here with him moving around, probably doing his eye a little bit. We haven't done any animation with his eye. And also doing the ambient animation of the other cranes. We need them moving and doing stuff, so it makes sense, like picking things up, putting them on the conveyor belt. We need to see that action in here. And then, then our animation gets a lot more polished as we get further through it. So we've got a lot more stuff going on here. So, this is all pretty good. It's going to be fun. Can't wait. Awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much. Hit that like button, subscribe, do all the things, leave a comment. That helps a lot when you leave a comment, actually. So go leave a comment, even a negative comment. I won't mind. It's fine. It's all engagement. So, see you later. Have a fantastic day. Bye.